Yes, students, good morning. Let us go to our research methodology module. Next, mm, that topic, that is writing a research proposal. If research was not written up, did it really occur? So it is important to write a research proposal. Then, during writing the research proposal, you have an idea how to move on. So then only research can occur, because you have to put an idea. Then only the research can go on. If you don't put your idea on the paper, then it doesn't move. So writing your idea in a research proposal format is very, very important. So let us see that. Academic chemists, they conduct research to discover facts, truths, and explanations about the chemical world. They are asked to submit research proposals as part of their application for admissions to a research degree. So in order to get the admission in universities, research institutes, to get a research degree, they have to write a research proposal. And even applying to external bodies for postgraduate research funding. So external funding can be applied with these research proposals to get the funding for postgraduate research studies, even for a doctoral studies. Then have an idea of your research project. If you're interested, that is in your experience, in which area of interest you have, or the expertise of a prospective supervisor, then that is very, very important. You have to have an idea, some experience also, and expert of selecting a supervisor who is an expert in that area. Suppose you want to work in organic chemistry, in natural products, so you have to see a supervisor who is a expertise or experienced person who can supervise you in any branch of field. You have to have a supervisor who is expert in which area you want to do your research. So you have to consider contacting a prospective supervisors in order to discuss the possibility of doing a research project under their supervision. This is very, very important. So you have to contact him to do a research when you're doing a master's or a doctorate degree, that is PhD. Then writing your proposal, or you're asked something more substantial, that is external funder, they will be asking you. So the rules for producing a good research proposal, they will be the same. So if you want to stand out from the crowd, and you have to have best chances of being selected. So your proposal has to stand out. Your proposal has to be best, so that your proposal will be selected and you can pursue your research. So this guide highlights the golden rules, and this will provide tips on how to write a good research application. So good research proposal or good research application you have to write. This will be highlighting, that is the rules you have to follow, that is golden rules. So you have to be clear with the objective, succinct and realistic in your objectives. Your objectives has to be clear and straightforward. What objective, what goals you want to achieve. So you have to ask yourself, why should anyone fund this research, or why you are the best person for this project? You have to ask yourself these questions. And yourself, why this research is important and or timely. Why this research is important? What is it is having significance, what it can contribute to society, to community, to the world. These are the important things. These questions you have to ask yourself. You have to think. So you have to state and justify your objectives clearly. It is interesting or is it not enough. So whatever the objectives state, or you have to justify that, you have to state that, which is clear. Or if the objectives are few, you have to add few more. So make sure you answer the questions. How will the research will benefit the society or the research community? How it will contribute. So these are the questions you have to answer. So if the space allows, provide a punky project, title has to be there. Structure your text if allowed, use section headings you have to use. Present the information that is in short paragraphs you have to write. Then a solid block of text. Short sentences has to be written. And if it is allowed, you have to provide images, charts or diagrams which may break up the text. So these are the things you have to follow. If required, you have to provide images, charts, all those things, right? Diagrams that will break up the text. So you have to identify a prospective supervisor and discuss the idea with him or her. Avoid blanket general emails to several prospective supervisors. That is, general emails you should not use. Allow plenty of time. A rushed proposal will show. So plenty of time you have to spend, and you have to show up the proposal, and he will give you the feedback from your prospective supervisor, and you have to take the comments on board, or you have to take the comments in your book or laptop, and whatever the guidelines he will be giving, you have to follow and strictly adhere to the deadline for the submission of the proposal. So writing your proposal or asked it is to produce something that is substantial for if you're applying for external funders, and that is you have to follow the rules for producing a good research proposal are the same. So that is if you want to stand out from the crowd, you have to have the best selected proposal to stand out. That is following the golden rules. Tips to write a good research application. So research proposal, they are different from each university to other university, and you have to follow the guidelines. And if you are not given any guidelines and how you divide your research proposal, you can adopt the structure below. So these are the procedure for UNAM which follows. A research report, it has 6 components. That is, title is there, introduction, a review of literature, methods, research ethics, references. And between you have significance, limitation, delimitations. Those are also being added recently. Title, it should be clear and concise, and you should avoid long and convoluted titles. It should be clear and a small title where everything you will get. You will get an opportunity to give more detail in your introduction. You have to give more detail, and title should be self-explanatory, and it should be limited to the scope of the study. Then introduction, then orientation of the proposal. Here the introduction is your opportunity, that is you're demonstrating your research which has not been done before, and the proposed project will really add something new, and the existing body of literature it will come. So your proposal does not have to be worthy of a Nobel Prize, but it has to be based on sound hypothesis and reasoning has to be there. Valid point has to be there, valid objective, it has to go through, sound hypothesis and reasoning has to be there. Not that it should be very novel or like a Nobel Prize, no. But it has to be sound hypothesis and reasoning. Novelty has to be there in one way we can say. So introduction statement of the problem. It is an imperative part of the proposal. So in order for research to be conducted, one must notice a problem which is there in the literature and which has not been addressed previously or which has not been reported previously. So you have to go through the literature extensively for the last 4 or 5 years so that what topic you are thinking, it should not be there. It should be new. It shouldn't be reported there. So why does this research study need to be conducted? So what specific issues does this study raise that have not been observed in other literature pertaining to the topic? Answering these questions will allow readers, that is, to understand why this particular study is important and how the study will attempt to answer new, never before asked questions. So this study is very necessary. Why? Because what has not been done before, you are doing first time, which will help the community, which will help your nation, which will help this information will be new to the scientific community or research community. It will help to the industries as well. You might be solving a new problem which hasn't been solved before. So you have to address it in this statement of the problem. Either objectives of the statement or research questions. So you have to clarify, that is, identify the goal of the study in one sentence, in one precise sentence. So for example, the sentence could look like this. The purpose of this study is to determine whether the decision of first semester male students to live with or reject living with their roommates is related to whether, like this. So the roommates will affirm their self-views or not. Why is this an important area of study? Answer. So this question under this section, it will also identify the unit of analysis or specific inquiry that is being done, used. So example of different units of analysis that will include a self-report, surveys, observational studies, etc. will be coming here. What survey is being done, what analysis has been done, all will come in this category or in this section. Then research questions and hypothesis of the study where needed. Research questions, they will ask what relationship is there between the variables in this study. What is the relationship? Then the hypothesis, it will predict the relationship that is there between the variables. As I have previously given few examples of some reactions, number of reactions they have to do, number of studies. The bigger the size of the variable, the more data you will have, and from that you can evaluate the data. Whether the result is positive or negative or a mixture of result, you're getting some variables, you'll get positive results, some you will get negative. So why you're getting negative, why you're getting positive, you have to explain. That will be later when you write up the report or you write up the article or thesis. So you have to make the list of all research questions in this study and you have to include the research hypothesis for this study. So the format of this section is seen below. For the purpose of this study, the following questions were addressed. List the research question here. For example, based on self-verification theory, so with a college student preference, that is to stay with his roommates, that is to increase or decrease, it will depend on his roommates. Sees him as he sees himself. So as part of this study, investigation included one research hypothesis. So the list of the study hypothesis will be here. So the more investigated college students are in their self views they have, the more they express a desire to verify these self views by preferring, that is, roommates who see them as they see themselves. So significant of the study, this is important, how the study results will affect future research. How this will have impact on future research, that is theory, counseling, policy, etc. So therefore, write this section with the focus on how the study's results and that will benefit others, that will benefit the society, that will benefit the community, that will benefit the nation, or that will benefit the global level. So you have to identify any weakness to the proposed study, why they were not addressed, or address how well the study will do in terms of internal and external validity. And you have to discuss the implications of the study affecting in practice or policy and scholarly full future research. These things has to come under significant of the study. And the next section comes the limitation of the study. So what is the limitation? Like, what is the limitation of your research proposal, research? That is, if you don't have some instruments here, like we don't have X-ray diffraction, proton NMR, mass, solid state NMR, we don't have. These things, scanning electron microscope, we don't have. So these are the limitations we have, right? Some instruments are not there, so they have to be outsourced from different universities in South Africa. So you will be mentioning this. Then review of literature. So you have to provide the background information that is in the form of literature review. This will help you set the context for your research to help the reader understand the questions and objectives what you are attaining. So you are expected to give here a good knowledge of the body of literature has to be provided, wider context in which your research belongs, and the area of methodologies, theories, and conflicting evidence in your chosen field. Whatever chosen field you are writing this proposal, in that chosen field, you have to review the literature and give that explanation here in a wider way. What are its drawbacks in their findings, like that. And the review of literature should be last 5 to 6 years or 8 years, like that. Not very old, like from 2000 or late 1990s. No, now it is 2021. So last 6-7 years, from 2014 or 13, you can start. So you have to choose the literature going from the reverse order. See the recent one, 2021. Then go to 2020, 2019, 2018, like this in reverse order. Because you will get the fresh information, what is being reported in literature now on your selected topic. Then you can plan on that way. When you search all the literature, combine that data, then start writing. So research proposals have a limit on words or pages, so you won't be able to analyze the whole existing body of literature. So choose key research papers you have to choose, or public documents, and you have to explain clearly how your research will fill this gap, complete or follow on from previous research which has been done, that is relatively new field, or if you are applying to known methodology, that is a different field it could be. So you have to clearly explain all these things. You have to fill the gaps. Previous research you have to follow, or if it is a new field, or you're applying a new known methodology to a different field, or you want to try to apply a new methodology of your own which hasn't been reported, that also can be applied here. So review of literature, journal articles can be there, from the books you can take, from PhD thesis, from master's thesis, public policies, government, and learn society reports are better than peer-reviewed information you may find on internet. So further practical information on how to conduct literature review, that is using bibliographic resources, can be found on web. Example, this link is there, 2 links. Now, very important information is plagiarism. So you have to make sure that you acknowledge the authors of all the publications. You used to write your proposal, and if you fail doing this, it is a plagiarism. So you need not copy the word what an author has said. You may think that the original author has presented the information in the best possible words, in the best format he has presented. So it is best to analyze it and rewrite in your own words. If you absolutely have to quote an author ad verbatim, then you have to make sure that you use quotation marks and italics to indicate it. So a research has to be in review of literature. Literature will tell the reader what other researchers they have discovered about the papers, about the topics, or telling the readers about the research that is relevant to the topic, and what the students call a research paper is merely a literature review. So the literature review should shape the way the readers they are thinking about a topic, or it educate the readers about what the community of the scholars they are saying about a topic and its surrounding issues. Along the way, it states facts and ideas about the world and supports those facts and ideas, that is having evidence from where they came. Empiricism. Thank you.